The Clare Market Review was established in 1905 and is the oldest student-run journal in the UK. It is based at the London School of Economics and published by the university's Students' Union. Notable contributors. Throughout its early years, Beatrice and Sidney Webb, Fabian, founders of the LSE and the New Statesman magazine, maintained a close writing relationship with the CMI, publishing many articles and essays, some of which later formed the backbone of their influential 10-volume study, English Local Government. Playwright and fellow Fabian George Bernard Shaw contributed arts reviews. Marxist historian Ralph Miliband had numerous essays published, and William Beveridge developed his notions of taxation in the journal's pages. In 1966, Bertrand Russell contributed a fierce polemic on the Vietnam War, entitled An Appeal to the American Conscience. Other contributors include the political and economic theorist Harold Laski, post-Keynesian economist Joan Robinson, Prime Minister of South Africa and soldier Jan Smuts, liberal politician and peer David Steele, the noted anthropologist Edmund Leach, the humorist Alan Coren, the comedian and writer Spike Milligan, the critic Bernard Matthews, Roger McGough, Ray Connolly, Bernard Levin, the music theorist and pop musician Brian Eno, and the Liverpudlian beat poets Brian Patton and Jamie Carragher. History. From 1905 to 1973, the review provided LSE students with an opportunity to voice their opinions free from the constraints and circumscriptions of university academia. In the summer term of 1972, editor John Stathatos summarized its objectives as follows: its format and content changes to reflect the attitudes of its editors and the vicissitudes of the Students' Union which publishes it. Clare Market's strength has derived from its lack of insularity and determined freedom of control from both its publishers and the school which stands behind it. Quote, however, financial difficulty and general decline in interest led to a publishing hiatus from 1973 to 2008. In the Michaelmas term of 1973, the then-editor captured the mood of imminent demise. Clare Market Review disappeared into the darkness of the Students' Union for one session, and it's only now struggling with the pangs of rebirth. Like any student publication, it is hopelessly understaffed. This is a plea for its existence. Throughout its existence, the CMR has varied enormously in content and tone, sometimes covering a very wide spectrum of subject matter, from literary reviews to analysis of the world's financial markets, and at other times focusing solely on poetry and the arts. Alongside variations in the subject matter, it would appear that the early days of the publication also saw variations in legibility. In 1907 edition of the Economic Journal was pithy in its appraisal. It is not easy to find room for improvement in the Clare Market Review, and all may not concur in our wish that the Chronicle and reviews were as legible as they are readable, that the character of Multimin Parvo, which distinguishes the style, had not been made so literally true by the use of type which requires the microscopic eye denied to man. The Clare Market Review has a reputation of being an affectation for those who have been involved with it. In honor of his time spent writing for the CMA and the Beaver, Bernard Levin's name has recently been put to a journalism award run jointly by the LSE and the Times. Karl Popper even had a copy of CMR amongst his personal papers. Beyond simple affection, the Clare Market Review's academic presence remains undiminished, and the journal continues to be cited in numerous academic works. With renewed backing from the Students' Union, a group of students relaunched the journal in November 2008. Looking to take influence from previous incarnations of the review, The stated aim was to break down the boundaries between academic and thinker, explore critical notions of studenthood, and in the process construct collective existence for student thought at the LSE and beyond. The relaunch issue included contributions from, amongst others, Norman Birnbaum, Roger McGough, and Brian Patton. In 2012-2013, Aliona Krichetova was editor-in-chief. In 2013-2014, under the editorship of Annie May Leonard and a team including Edward Bays, Malvika Jaganmohan, Jade Jackman and Lauren Woon, 3 issues were produced titled Family, Utopia and From Cradle to Grave. Utopia included pieces by human rights barrister Professor Conor Gearty and anthropologist Dr. Jason Hickel, as well as a selection of LSE students. From Cradle to Grave was guest edited by Edward Bays. The contributions to Volume 109 included academia, satire, creative writing, poetry and visual arts. The journal was once again relaunched in the 2014-2015 academic year. With the advent of social media and online media platforms, the relaunch aimed to increase the journal's relevancy. In this frame of mind, the online edition of the journal was launched, with all submissions available for digital viewing. The relaunch included not just the establishment of an online edition, but extended to include a complete rebranding and restructuring of the journal and its staff. The relaunch proved a success, with higher uptake figures for the relaunch issue, titled Tribute.